Good evening, everybody, and welcome to United Real Therapy. I'm your host at the moment, Jarvis Cocker, but Noradin will be here soon. He called me right away, and he's on his bike on his way from Old Trafford. He will be with us in a couple of minutes. In the beginning, I will say hi to the people in the chat. We have people following Ian McDonald. Please, Ramadine Lessie, big up, big up. If you have any quotes from Ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, please bring them so I can read them up. We have Anna the one day. We have United BT. Sheikh Arian is here as always. Alien Tenno, big up Alien Tenno. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you were at Old Trafford and you enjoyed seeing Ruud coming in with 5 goals and energy on this United team. We see here, and Abdaziz Muhammad is in the house also, and Yo say no mo. Salute Jarvis. What a night! Yeah, what a night! I'm happy. There was a brilliant game, a lot of goals, but the energy of the guys was incredible. Energy was incredible. Onwards and upwards comes in with a Casemiro masterclass. Yes, totally agree. Totally agree. It was a Casemiro masterclass. I don't know where this Casemiro has been. We haven't seen him in a while, but he was brilliant today. He was all over the place, defending, midfield, passes, driving the ball, scoring goals. Wow, what about that first shot? Incredible, incredible. Let's see. We have some breaking news here from Ian McDonald. He says we have Spurs next round. Oh, not good, not good. I like the results we saw. We saw Chelsea losing, Manchester City's out, Aston Villa's out, and now into the quarterfinal. We could have gotten a better opposition than Spurs. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. Let's beat those Spurs. We have a revenge. We lost against them newly. I think we lost the game 3-1 if I'm not remember correctly. So yeah, I hope we can meet them. Okay, we have just in from Khalis Ramadin Lassi. We have say MUFC bound Ruben Amarim seems set to stay at Sporting until November 10th. Wow, as it stands. Portuguese sources say an official announcement could come early as tomorrow. Okay, Ruben Amarim. Okay, 10th of November. That will be, well, today that's 10 to a couple of weeks. So that will be, he will come in the international break then. So we will see Ruud at least three more games. That will be interesting. Sheikh Arian comes in and said Ruud van Nistelrooy, quote, I was delighted for Casemiro, the way he's been training and helping the team, the club. It's such an example. I'm delighted to have him around and going through difficult moments. He's got a lot of criticism after the Liverpool game. Yeah. Casemiro, what a game. What a game. So who was the man of the match? Are we talking about Casemiro or are we talking about Bruno? Bruno had 2 brilliant goals. Give me your man of the match in the chat. We have Jonathan Borg in the house. Big up, big up. We have Eduardo Almanza. You say, I love your analysis, Jarvis, and I understand the game perfectly. Thank you. Thank you. I do my best. Let's see. Let's bring in the chat. We have Gamer TV comes in. We got Spurs at home. Yeah. Faisal comes in. Big up Jarvis. Big up Faisal. Big up Nuruddin. For those who arrived late, Nuruddin will be here in a couple of minutes' time. He's on his bike from Old Trafford. He just been at the game, and you know, we probably wanted to stay 5 minutes more just to feel the atmosphere at Old Trafford after a win, because something felt differently today. What was it? Ten Hag is not here. New energy in the guys. Van Nistelrooy coming in, And I took some notes about what I thought about the game and what Ruud van Nistelrooy gave to our team, and I would say it's freedom to express themselves. The players didn't look tied up. They looked like they were free to play, like under Ollie. I got the same vibe as we did in the first couple of games with Ollie. And the players were focusing for me on opportunities rather than consequences. They didn't worry about losing the ball. They had a mindset. They wanted to try that through ball to break those lines with the pass. They didn't care. They wanted to do the best as they could. And I would say also the energy in their body language. I haven't seen that in a while. We saw it in 30 minutes after the Brentford game, while they equalized, while De Ligt was down with the head injury. I think that energy came back into the team. And I would say, from a tactical point of view, what I saw in Ruud, I mean, I would call it intuitive relationalism. The players were free to roam wherever they wanted in an intuitive way. They weren't forced to interchange positions per se, as we have felt they did under Ten Hag. Tonight, I saw them seeing opportunities. If De Ligt was high up the pitch, he could counter press. He didn't have to worry about tracking back as soon as possible. We saw Dalot inverting, but not forced inverting into the midfield. He went inverted when he was needed, when the ball was there, when he could create. And other players, I liked what I saw. So I don't know, you guys, if you feel, are you happy with this result? Are you happy with what you saw from Ruud van Nistelrooy? Is this the potential of this group of players? I see Lightning comes in and say it was just vibes. Yeah, there was a lot of vibes going on with this team now. We know they have it in them, and we will probably discuss this later. I'm not going to start on a negative, but there's something wrong with this group of players when they can perform under certain managers and the same group of players can't perform under another manager. Why is it? Why is it? Why can't they just play for the badge all the time, and for the crowd, and for Old Trafford, for the history, for the Busby Babes, for Alex Ferguson, for everybody cheering the Reds in all over the world? So yeah, we will have a discussion with Noradin, and most likely other guests will come on. I don't know who he has invited, but I'm hoping to see Sean here, and Lesso will come on. Tualumba Piri comes in. Hello, Jarvis. Big up Therapy Army. Big up Tualumba Piri. We have some more quotes here from Kalis. Ruud, of course, I came here as an assistant to help the club. Now, in this role, I'm helping as long as needed. In the future, in any capacity, I'm here to help the club further to build towards the future. And that's what I'm here for. Yeah. So, as I can read those quotes, I would say I wouldn't entirely dismiss Ruud being on Amorim's team. He kind of gives an application to be there in a way. He will say he will be here if they want him. So yeah, I think right now, without a doubt, I think all of us wants Ruud to be on the team. Kalis also comes in and say, I'm here to help and serve and give everything for the club in any capacity. So yeah, that's I don't know. Would you guys have Ruud here under Amarim? Would you take him? Yes or no? I see Ghosts comes in and say it was refreshing to see the team play like someone with somewhat freedom, but we need to see how they adapt to Amarim's very technical and tactical approach. Good point. Good point there. Do you pronounce your name Ghost? GHXST Ghosts? Yeah, probably. I see more of you comes in and say Spurs United in the quarterfinals of Carabao Cup. Are we playing home or away? Is it away? I'm not liking this. But anyhow, it will be good to just have a big game. I think it is more interesting than playing, I don't know, I don't know, a championship team. It's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. Raul comes in and say it's away. Yeah, it's Spurs away. It will be interesting to see. Um, yeah, let's go back again to the game. We can talk a little bit about it. I haven't had time to see the game second time and analyze what really happened, but my first impression was we set up in the same way. There was a 4-2-3-1 formation, but we were interchanging. I would say I would see a little bit of total football, players playing where needed, not forced, and I like that. It was a little bit happy-go-lucky in our defensive play. We saw a howler from Dalot on the second goal, and yeah, I think we could have done better. But attacking wise, very interesting. You could see Bruno today was really playful. He had vision. He had the yeah, vision is the right word. You see him jumping over the ball, and a couple of times on Casemiro's goal, you see it's Bruno's movement that creates space for Casemiro, and I think that's really good. He did well, and that shot from Casemiro, that's one in a million, but you can't take it away from the guy. You know, he had time, and he aimed at the same spot and scored. So that was a fantastic goal. We have H Abs so coming in. Big up Jarvis. Big up. Big up. Hope you are well, my bro. Good to win the game 5-2, scoring 5 goals. Is this the ketchup effect we are seeing? Could this have happened against West Ham if we just have scored one? Um, I don't know. It felt like we had the margins today. That the gods was footballing gods was with us. You know, on Casemiro's second goal, it goes from one post to the other and back again to Casemiro, and he scored. And even Bruno's free kick, you know, he hit the wall, hit the head on the Leicester defender, goes in the opposite direction. The keeper is didn't have a chance. It was a brilliant goal, but you know we have the margins. The margins is there, and even on Bruno's fifth goal or the second goal of Bruno, it was a bad pass, but Bruno was there fighting for it, and brilliant, just passing the goalkeeper and putting it in the goal. You know he had you could see the guy had confidence. This could be the turning point for Bruno this season. He scored his first 2 goals, and now he's most likely back at least for a couple of games. Um, it was interesting for me is how the players responded when they played today, because I think they all felt that they are being watched, and it's like an audition for the new manager. Not only coming in with the vibes of Ruud van Nistelrooy, but it's an audition for Amarim, and all the players know they have to perform now if they want to be selected under the new manager. Um, so they are fighting for their own future per se. So this is what we would like to see. We should have more squad depth, probably, for players to have this attitude all year round, not only when we change managers. But this is what we are trying to achieve with the new structure, building a bigger squad. Everybody has to fight for their spot, and there's no favoritism. No one is safe in the team selection. That will be the perfect thing. And we know even back in the days when Ferguson used to manage this team, he always kept the players on their toes, even the biggest stars. You know, if Giggsy had one good game, put him on the bench next game, let him sit there, relax, let him get back to himself, get the fire up going. And this is what we have seen, and maybe Ruud is onto something here. I'm excited to see when we come into the next game. We have Chelsea coming on Sunday, I think about 4 o'clock, and Chelsea, they lost today, but they played their second squad, second team. So they have a lot of players rested coming into this game. I didn't think Ruud rested many players against this Leicester team. Leicester rested 8 players. We rested, I would say, basically no one. Rashford came off early. Same with the Ligt and Martinez. Højlund started on the bench, so they are most likely ready. And Eriksen didn't play 1 minute, so I don't know with Eriksen if he's in Ruud's plans or will we see him against Chelsea. I see also Sheikh Arian come in and say, where was Maguire today? I think Maguire is still injured, as I understand. Lillis comes in, big up Lillis. He say defense still looking, yeah, not good. 2 goals conceded, not fault by injury. Who saved 2 or 3 goals? Yeah, I would say by injury he had a really good game today. He was a little bit shaky one time, and that was on the goal. He could have cleared the ball, but he cleared it to a Leicester player. But it wasn't a big mistake. It was a small mistake, I would say. And yeah, but they scored, but it's not on by injury. But that's the only little negative I see with him. But he was good today, and I'm really excited about Bayindir. I would like to see actually more from him. I hope he gets to stay in goal in all of the cup games, FA Cup and League Cup, and hopefully some of the Europa League games. We have weak opposition coming up in the next couple of rounds. Even though we need a win, I think Bayindir is one of those guys who are ready, and the quality doesn't go down when they play a goalkeeper like him. We should even create some competition for the goalkeeper place, and I think it's good for Onana. So yeah, that's good. And I say Sheikh Aryan also comes in and say even Collier and Dan Gore, I haven't seen them recently. What happened? Yeah, I don't know. Big up, Noradin, big up. Oh, connecting sound. Big up. Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. Dex Z comes in and say, how did people settle for Ten Hag for 2.5 years? That's a good question. We probably come back to that later. We don't want to make this about a big Ten Hag debate already. We just want to talk about the vibes and winning. Oh, you can't hear? Okay, he'll be back. He'll be back. I'll be back. Yale Malmin also comes in and asks if is Onana injured. He took a proper beating his last game. No, I don't think he's injured. I think we're just resting. And for Bayindir, I think he needs minutes. Basically, needs minutes. And he's a young guy, and he wants to play football. So that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And Wendy's in the house. Big up, Wendy. Nice to see you. Story comes in and say a very poor Leicester side, not much to take from the match, but I hope the goals will give us more confidence. Yeah, I think that's the key. We need more confidence. We haven't been able to score goals, and this was a really good time for us. And I think scoring goals create confidence, and especially for the right players. I think 2 goals from Bruno was important for him. I think he's been looking a little bit erratic lately, trying to force it. But now he really finally scored a goal, and I think that was a good thing. Yale comes in again on the goalkeeper and say the reason I'm asking about Onana, he was not on the bench tonight. Really, he wasn't on the bench. Oh, I didn't catch that. So maybe he's injured. We'll probably hear more about it. Let's look at the stats from the game, and we can go through it. I just want to share the screen here. Here we go. So let's just remove this comment for you guys to see. I can also enhance it a little bit. So the goals came in the 15th, 39, 28, 36, and 59th minute. Garnacho, Casemiro 2 goals, and Fernandes. The stats from the game is here we go. Top stats, XG of 295, and we scored 5 goals, so we were productive today. Leicester had an XG of 0.94. They scored 2 goals. They had 16 shots and 7 on targets, 1 big chance. We had 23 shots, 9 on target, and 4 big chances. Only 1 big chance missed. Accurate passes 87%. We had 87% pass accuracy. That's really good for us. I think that's much higher than we usually do. I think we are in the 82 or 83 percentile in most games. So 87, that's really good. We were secure on the ball. We had 5 corners, 23 total shots, so we were attacking. But it was an open-ended game, and we can see also Leicester had 16 shots. So it's more of a basketballification, open tennis game, back and forward. But I think it's a cup game. It's what you get. We scored early, and Leicester needed a goal, so they opened up. And this is football when 2 teams want to attack. Are you there, Nerdin? Can you hear me?
Yeah, here. I don't know what's going on with my laptop, but it's acting funny. Big up to
Oh,
everybody. Love and light. Um, yeah, it was an interesting game. We saw goals. Sorry, I saw 4 goals at Old Trafford against the Premier League team for the first time. I don't remember. So,
mm,
the passing was a lot quicker in the first half. Um, to be fair, it was a bit of a weird game. I think um, Leicester really didn't really threaten that much in terms of possession and building up attacks outside our area. But they went into the box. They had one shot outside of the area, one
mm,
fantastic goal. I think the defender didn't go out to him, the youngster, but he finished it really well for Leicester. And then the second one was a weird one because it was like a game of statues because the ball came into the box and everybody froze. And kind of
mm,
Coady was the person who basically got the ball down and just put it into the goal. I thought second half they come out a lot better than they were, made it more of a cup game. And the first 15 minutes it was all them, and then we scored against the run of play. You know,
mm.
uh, the Bruno goal.
It,
Was it the Bruno goal? Was it? Yeah, it was a Bruno goal. Yeah, it was against the
yeah,
run of play.
the fifth goal was Bruno's. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a mistake from the goalkeeper, from the center half back
Mm,
to the goalkeeper, and then that's what it was. But big
mm,
up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Yeah, it was a funny and interesting kind of vibe tonight. Obviously, Ruud got the ovation that he deserved. He came and he went, the whole Old Trafford. There was 73,000 in the League Cup match on a Wednesday night at Old Trafford. So
mm.
it tells you like people turn up, a bit of a spectacle. Um, the news today in the UK, I don't know whether in Norway, but in the news in the UK saying that Amarim might be still not be here till after the international break. So Ruud is going to be in charge. But yeah, I felt like Casemiro had something to prove today, honestly. He played like he had some point to prove. I saw a lot of players in the warm up specifically with a lot of smiles. A lot of players were just, yeah, they were
Yeah.
going through that in that sense. So there's been an energy shift. It almost feels like a cloud has been lifted. And
Mm,
yeah, some of the goals were good. I thought the second goal, the Casemiro pass to Diogo Dalot and the ball first time to Garnacho, and the
Garnacho. Mm,
Garnacho buries it. So that was a really good goal, really good team goal. Um, other than that, yeah, like I said, I'm just happy. I know people are going to say it's Leicester, it's Leicester's B team. Their focus is to stay in the Premier League. They're not asked about this type. But you know what? At the end of the day, I remember we were struggling to beat Newport. You know what I mean? Like we've been with
mm.
this team, we've been
Yeah.
with those places. So, we struggled to beat Coventry. We had to do it in penalties in a cup.
Mm,
So at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not seeing a 4 goals at Old Trafford in the first half, you know, for an um, opposition team. I'm not seeing that. Like,
no.
yeah, so I'm happy about that. I'm happy to see goals because let's be fair, we were
Mm,
really staffed. I don't know, maybe Rude, in the last couple of days was saying to them, you need to finish. You know what I mean? A lot more. I think the only kind of training that them probably had done was to, put the ball at the back of the net and get used to that. We were directly right behind on the north stand. Um,
mm.
behind the Casemiro goal. As soon as he left his feet, that ball was going in. So yeah, I'm gonna check the goals out now, because obviously at the stadium you see it only once, because we don't have still Manchester United do not have screens. You know what I mean? We don't have any
That's
screens.
incredible. I just want to tell you on the second goal of Leicester, everybody froze because the cross came in. I think it was Dalot or Casemiro. Someone jumped up and tried to head the ball, but it slightly they just flicked the ball a little bit, so it hit Dalot in the chest. He was totally unprepared because the ball changed direction and he bounced back into the Leicester defender and he scored. So it was like a little bit of ping pong type of a goal. So it probably looked weird from the stands, but when you see it in replay, there was just one of those things. Sean, are you here?
Guys. I'm here partly, but I'm here. I can talk. Yeah, good game, very good game. Very eerie, like the similarities between this and Solskjaer. Scoring 5 goals for the first time in a couple of years, scoring 5 goals against Leicester City, the same team that Ole did this to. New manager bounce, Ruud at the wheel. I'm here for it. Like Giddy FC, get on the train.
Mm.
Everybody's excited. Everybody's playing with a newfound freedom and swagger. The players all seem motivated. Whether it's Rashford or I guess to an extent, right? The usual suspects showed up today. So Delete, solid. So was Martinez. Casemiro is a quality player. I think. I mean, obviously, from the starting 11, you could already see the difference that Ruud was trying to make, right? Giving Onana a rest,
Mm.
essential. It basic stuff, right? Playing, giving Ugarte the confidence, basically, that we signed you for 60 million pounds. You're a professional footballer. Go and play. I'm sure if Ten Hag was still here, we would have seen Casemiro and Eriksen in midfield, or the same idea. So I think everybody feels that sense of they feel chasing, I think, to an extent also, that wow, the manager has been sacked. So okay, we're all working hard, we're all running hard, we're all ready to, work and everything. And yeah, I mean, long may it continue, right? Hopefully we get a good 3 game run or four
Mm.
game run manager bounce from this from here on out, right? Because it looks like the Amorim thing is already locked and loaded. He's gonna resume the next international um, window. So hopefully the new manager bounce can even rebound on to when
Yeah.
the actual new manager comes. But yeah, I think Ruud is the perfect guy for this moment, right? I think he understands the club. The fans are all behind him. The sentimentality is there. He knows that there's a hard stop on his time here. So, he's not interviewing for a job at United specifically. He's
Mm.
interviewing for a job elsewhere. Like, so he's, on his best behavior. Everybody's on their best behavior. I think we're going to have a good, solid couple of, weeks before our full-time manager comes in. But yeah, this game today in particular, I think was impressive all around. But I don't think we can draw too much from the game itself, right? Because it's new manager bounce. It's everybody
Mm.
is in good spirits. Everybody is feeling excited. Everybody's motivated. Ahmad is smiling when it comes off the bench, right? All the players look like they want to work hard. So yeah, I mean, long may it continue, really.
Mm. Mm. Um, Sean, have you ever heard about the Hawthorn Effect?
No, no.
Well, the Hawthorn Effect is basically a phenomenon that where individuals improve or modify their behavior simply because they are aware that they are being observed.
Right. Well,
So
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, and the Hawthorn Effect is one of the key elements into the new manager bounce, as every team when they start winning again, when they change managers. So that's the science behind it. So basically, the players feel that they are being watched by the new guy, and they have to have to change their.
Being watched, being judged.
Mm,
I think a lot of them. I think they feel chasing a little, because I think a lot of them recognize that Ineos means business. They mean business, and wow, if this manager could be sacked after the West Ham game where it looked like we're dominating, yeah, but we still lost. What does that mean for me? So I think it's the right standard. I think the right example we want to be setting for the players in the squad. And yeah, I think the Hawthorn effect as you described is real. Intuitively, it makes sense, right? That when somebody's watching you or you feel like
mm,
you're being judged or assessed, you put on your best performance. But I think a lot of the things that we're asking Ten Hag for seemed simple, right? Play
mm,
players in their strongest position. Sub players off when they're not playing well. Use your 60 million pound midfielder that you signed in the summer. Um, keep your players on the simple things that, like, for some reason, Ten Hag with coconut head refused to do. So yeah, like now really, they ought to in fact work their asses off to try and impress not just the new manager, but the ownership and the fans. The fans, most importantly, who they betrayed, right? All these players, they didn't only betray Ten Hag, they betrayed the fans. And I think many of them, or hopefully they understand that now. Many fans are going to be like, okay, right now it's on you, the players, and it's on Ineos. This new manager gets a clean slate for most of the fans. So our
mm.
attention is going to be on Ineos and on the players on the pitch, because we trust that we're going to back the next person that
Are you
comes.
doing
So
the
yeah,
dishes?
something like that. Yeah, that's why I'm
Okay. Yep. You can continue. Sorry.
No, yeah. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, they ought to audition, right? They ought to all be auditioning or campaigning basically for their slots in the team. Hopefully Ruben Amarim was watching, right? Hopefully his assistants that are coming with him were taking notes.
Mm,
Because I saw, interesting things. I think there's an argument to be made for keeping Martinez at the left back position until we get a proper left back. No more Dalot on the left anymore. I think there's a case to be made for this Casemiro and Ugarte midfield, because it seemed like Ugarte was babysitting Casemiro basically everywhere he went. Ugarte
yeah.
wasn't too far away, just in case there was a need to clean up or there was something to cover. So I want to see more of that, right? I'm a little bit concerned about Joshua Zirkzee. He's lacking the confidence, and hopefully the arm around him that Ruud seems to have, hopefully that can get the best out of
Mm,
Xerxes. But yeah, I want to see like the competition basically for places, right? I was impressed that Ahmad came on for Rashford, I think 60th minute or so. No more guaranteed starters, right? Hopefully the next
mm,
person that comes can keep Bruno honest and can keep all these players honest. So yeah, I mean there's really, like, I think we've hit rock bottom basically, right? We've been to hell. Not just we've been to hell many different times. Like the rock,
mm,
we've been swimming basically in rock bottom for a while. So I think finally, for the first time in a long time, it seems like we are now trending in the right direction.
mm,
Right, and yeah, this it can only be more positive from here on.
mm, mm. And Nordin, before you come in, I just want to add something because we talked a little bit about the game, and I'm looking at the stats from the game, and I see when it comes to I can just share it with you guys. You can have a look with me. I'm just going to remove the comment for people so they can see Nordin. Sorry about that. You see here the this is the pass success, and we have Ugarte here on the 90% pass success, and he kept the ball moving, and we kept the ball moving around the midfield. You see, Casemiro had a great game, only 77% pass success, but he was creative with the ball. He had a lot of long passes and passing through the lines. So Ugarte won the ball, just kept the ball moving and ticking for the other guys to create. So I think today Ugarte had a really good game, and I think it's vital for the way we play. Did you see that from the stands, Noridin, Ugarte's role into all of this?
No, definitely. The two players in the pivot, the interchanging between both of them, I thought was really, really good. Yeah, it was a very interesting game. People, the draw's already out. I think we've got Spurs in the quarterfinals at Tottenham Stadium. That's an interesting thing. But
I have a
you
feeling
can
we're
notice
going to be the worst to sack him.
Partey's game tonight. You definitely noticed how he was keeping it simple, just moving it. And also, like at times, he won the ball back really quickly. You noticed that his robustness and challenges. But Casemiro was the far more creative player. He was the one who was risking it a little bit more. It was really interesting. Again, we saw the similar things we saw against Brentford for Rashford. He's almost kind of at times playing in midfield. He's not even playing as a number 10. He's much deeper than Bruno and everybody else. So that was a bit weird. I thought Sirski at times, the more he played, the more he got into the game. I really wanted to see Xerxes and Rasmus play together a little bit. But it wasn't a way where they connected. Like I said, Ahmad, even during the warm-up, there was a lot of smiles and a lot of people were smiling and joking. You can see half of the team were just going through the warming up, and the other half of the team was joking and like lots of like, laughing and stuff like that during the warm-up. So it was really interesting. And what you said about this method about being watched and this new manager bounce, the psychology, all that is very interesting. But like I said, I'm happy anytime I see 4 goals at Old Trafford before halftime. You know what I mean?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's nothing for me to complain. And a lot of people would say it's Leicester's beating, but I don't care. We struggled against Coventry. We struggled against bloody Newport. We struggled against bloody Bolton. Was it Bolton that we played? Who did we play? I don't know what other teams that we played.
We struggled against any and everybody, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it did one thing I did notice though. I was right opposite. I was on the stand opposite where Ruud was. He never moved. He never went back to the bench. He's just on the halfway line, kicked every ball. He was constantly screaming and shouting and telling players to come here, do this, do that. So yeah, the energy, there was a better energy, and really someone who scored some good goals. Like how much you read into that is I don't know. How much you read into that. But
no, I mean, there's like I was just pointing out like I think a few things that I think can be taken from this game, right? Starting with Ruud, the manager. I think there's about to be a vacancy soon in either West Ham or Spurs, and Ruud is definitely putting himself out there for a job. If a good Premier League team is looking for a bright young manager who doesn't have the stain of Ten Hag's backlash on him. So that's one. I think, as I pointed out, like something for the incoming manager to consider, or for Ruud to consider as well, is that Licha Martinez should just keep playing left back. Right. Let's get some balance in the team. So I think that's something that we can take away, like from this game, for example. I think secondly, to have more stability in midfield, Ugarte and Casemiro as a combination, I think gives us the balance that we might be looking for. One of them can sit and the other person can go forward to apply pressure. Casemiro is freed of the responsibility of having to be the person in the midfield covering all that ground. He's not, right? But he is a Real Madrid quality player. And on his day, he can hit passes basically. He can, do all this like switches of play from one side to another. He's an integral part of actually how we progress the ball. So I don't mind seeing that combo more going forward. I think what you mentioned also, how Rashford is being used. Maybe he just can't compete with Garnacho on the left, right? Because Garnacho is right now probably the brightest, the most intense, the most exciting attacker that we have right now. So maybe that's Rashford. Maybe that's a manager trying to, or that's the manager trying to accommodate Rashford into the team. So I think there are things that going forward, we need to think about or look at from this particular game, because there are things that we've been seeing, throughout the season, basically, and that maybe look better tonight, or just everything just worked for us tonight. Yeah.
But Sean, I have to say, if Ruud starts Rashford against Chelsea, I will be disappointed, because you saw Ahmad when he came on. He's a baller, he's a footballer. He knows how to play ball. Rashford, I think Rashford had a terrible game. Okay, he had to do more defensive work, most likely, and open up spaces for others. doing things that we didn't see. But I would say he looks totally out of shape and out of form. And for me, I would bench him right away just to send him a signal. It's Man United,
Here's my hope now, right?
no
Jarvis.
favoritism.
My hope is that you're right. My hope is that you're correct. My hope is that Ruud, he doesn't give a fuck. Like because he has an exit day, I hope he doesn't give a damn about Rashford, right? He might like Rashford, he might respect Rashford, he might put an arm around Rashford, but he's not going to be here in 2 months to deal with Rashford when Rashford starts sulking. So I agree with you 1,000%. If he decides that the best approach is to bench Rashford for the game against Chelsea, bench him. Frankly, I can see it both ways, right? I think Rashford still has that um, danger, X factor, extra quality that you need, especially in a game like that at Old Trafford, where I don't mind Ahmad coming. I don't care, honestly, right, Jarvis? Either way, I think I hear you. I hear you that maybe I might not be the better person, but I could also see Rashford playing because it's Rashford, quote unquote, and because he scores kind of sometimes in the big games. And if the team is feeling good, if the team is in a good spirit, Rashford is somebody you want basically, right, to be in the squad, to be in around. So yeah, I'm not sure if honestly any of our attackers are as good as Rashford right now. I think Garnacho is unplayable, and it's between Rashford and Ahmad on the right. And I wouldn't mind either way. If he plays with Rashford, because I think the good spirit, the good vibe, even if Rashford gives us a 6/10 game, if everybody else in the team is solid 7.5, 8/10, we'll be fine. We'll be fine nonetheless.
Yeah, but I just want to give you a little stat. I saw Adewale Adeleke. We all know him from the super chat guy. Big up Adewale. He on Twitter today. He put out a post on the Rashford, and he has scored 8 goals in the last 42 Premier League games. That's a goal every 6th game. Yeah.
Wow.
8 goals in 42 Premier League games in over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So his stats are terrible at the moment.
Yeah, Rashford has been in a bad way, all right. That last season, I think, is part of largely what has caused it. He has been in really bad form throughout last season and carrying over to this season. So yeah, that stat doesn't really surprise me. It's concerning, right? And I think the question right now for Rashford is he going to be a Theo Walcott, right? Is he going to be somebody who quite just never reached the heights that he was supposed to, and now needs to be moved on to another club? Because with all due respect to Rashford, I don't really see many big clubs paying his wages that he's on right now for him to come and be, for the return that basically he has delivered so far for United. So I think him, for his own career too, he needs to deliver. And I think this season is a very important season for him. Like, he needs to score more than he has been scoring this season. And so far, I think it's been a mixed bag, right? And let's say the grace that we're giving to everybody else in the squad, that we can't judge them because Ten Hag was so shit. I would extend that same grace to Rashford. Everybody gets a clean slate, right? From now, you all get a chance. You all get a chance to prove yourself, to show yourself. If the wind blows Rashford in the right way, and he wakes up feeling good on Sunday and he scores 2 goals and we beat Chelsea, more grace to his elbow. Personally, I don't mind. Like, I'm not invested in any particular outcome. Any particular player. I think I just want the team to win, and I trust Ruud's intentions. Let me put it that way. I don't know about his credentials, but I trust his intentions, and I believe that, like, if he selects Rashford, it will be because he truly thinks Rashford is the better player to play for a specific reason on Sunday.
Yeah. Interesting stat here from Statman Dave. Also, he comes in and say this one: Man United had never scored 5 goals against a Premier League opponent under Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, no,
it's a good stat for Ruud.
It's a good stat for Ruud. Like I said, West Ham is going to need a manager soon. I think Spurs will as well, because all that commiserating that Ange Postecoglou was doing, he was commiserating with Ten Hag that, wow, football these days, managers don't really get time. Like I don't know if he would have been sacked if he was at Spurs. I think that was just his own way of letting out some of his own concerns about his job and about the
Mm.
expectations being placed on him. So I think a few more losses, a few more, like more drama basically in the league for Spurs, and they could be in real trouble. I think same goes for West Ham. So yeah, I think Ruud is putting himself out there for the
Mm.
big job. I think this is the only place he would have accepted the assistant manager position. So I think right now he should be looking to be a head coach somewhere. And yeah, hopefully he can have an unbeaten 100% record. Long may it continue.
Mm. Nora,
Yes, people.
did you hear that Amorim is not here until the 10th? So Ruud will be the manager for at least
Yeah,
three
yeah,
more
for the
games.
international. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We heard that. Yeah, I mean, to be fair to them, you can't just come and snatch somebody's manager just like that. They have to also. I'm sure that they've been sounding out other managers to take over their club.
Mm.
So it's only fair to them. You know what I mean? Sporting Lisbon, a very good club. And it's only right that they get their ducks in order.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's after the international break, isn't it? It's going to be interesting as well. It'd be really interesting to see his team. What happens to them now? Do they just the intensity go? They're going to be playing against City, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
I think they might be playing City. Are they playing City soon? I think if you looked at Sporting's next couple of games.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the Champions League.
Yeah, they're going to be playing against City, and so they've got some interesting games
In
coming up.
Champions League, yeah. They're
Yeah,
playing
so
against City.
it'll be a lot of people will be watching that. Yeah,
They have Man City on Tuesday, the 5th of November.
Next
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see.
Mm.
And Ruud will get, obviously, he will get the Chelsea game. What other game? Let me just have a look now. United.
Yeah, we have it here.
The PAOK, PAOK, how do they call it?
So we have Chelsea, Panathinaikos, and Leicester City and Ipswich. No, Leicester will be the last game, 10th of November. So maybe, so those three games will be Ruud. Chelsea, Panathinaikos, Europa League, and Leicester.
He's got three lovely home games.
100% record. Loading.
He's got three home games, so it's going to be.
Could you hear the crowd singing for Ruud today?
Yeah.
It's the right song. I heard on Ted Telly, Ruud.
Yeah. When he came out,
I could hear Ruud himself shouting from the touchline, right? And I think it was such a contrast to Ten Hag's relatively muted personality on the touchline. He's just standing there generally for the most part, right? And we didn't really make an issue out of this, but I feel like that passion on the touchline, shouting on, I think he was instructing them at some point about the press, right? He was calling their names. Now you go, or now you move, now you push. Basically, the kind of thing that I guess we were looking for from a quote-unquote manager this whole time. But yeah, 100% unbeaten record, man. I think Ruud. New manager bounce, hopefully, right? What did you call it again? The what effect?
Hawthorn Effect.
The Hawthorn Effect. Let's put the
No.
scientific theory to the test.
I'll say this. Actually, his passing was quite good tonight. I'm not going to lie to you, Sonny. I thought Ugarte was one. Yeah, I think Casemiro was by far the man of the match, but I thought Ugarte was close second. I thought that he kept it simple. He kept it moving. I only remember one time when he gave the ball away. He hit this. It was a good idea to hit it out wide to Diogo Dalot, but he went out of play. So yeah, he did the basics. He did the basics. Let me say something about Casemiro. Casemiro at times, on the ball, he looks like a Sunday league player, and sometimes he looks like a world class player. So it's Jekyll and Hyde. But tonight he looked like he had something to prove. He has something to prove. So yeah, very interesting. Big up Windy says, is there a clause on sport requires 30 days and over? Yeah, apparently. But then I'm like, why are we paying a 10 million then? We're paying 10 million to buy him out of his contract.
Not just that. No, we're paying for three things. I think because I think it's less than 30 days. The next week, the next
it's a notification period. That's just the way it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be back. He's gonna be at United before the period is over, and I think we're paying a premium for that. We're paying a premium for, I mean, obviously getting him out of his contract. We're paying for his two assistant managers. I forget their names, and we're paying for him to cut down his 30-day notice period by a few days. But I think November 10th is less than 30 days from now. So yeah, I mean, they should pay whatever. I think we all agree, right? They should pay whatever sports
Yeah,
he
he was.
wants.
Yeah.
Um, pay them. Let him come, please. I'm just curious, right, to see what he brings. I'm going to watch that Sporting vs Man City game, and I think you're right that there's going to be lots of eyes on that game because it's a preview of, I guess, what to expect um, from him as a manager, basically from us. And I guess that's what Pep had his eye on. Because he didn't take this game today seriously. Man City, he didn't take this game today seriously. But yeah, the league. I guess our season is just starting, right? All things are washed away. Like I said, new slate. Everybody has a new blank slate. Clean slate. I can all go all together now. Going forward, the vibes are good. New manager Vance, Ruud at the wheel. Tell me how good does it feel? Yeah.
I see a good comment there from Agostino Zinga. Big up Agostino. He say, I'm very worried about Xerxes. You get the feeling that Garnacho doesn't trust him much either. Whether he's loose the ball, he's flaying his arms in the air and shit. So Xerxes looks down. Did you see that from the stands, Northern? Xerxes and Garnacho relationship that doesn't seem to trust
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I can definitely see there is something, but it takes a lot for players to bed into this football. I genuinely think attacking players, some of them find it really difficult to bed in, and it takes them a year or 6 months or 7 months to get used to the surrounding. So, yeah, I think he just needs a bit more confidence, a bit more encouraging. I thought as the game got on, as the game moved on, he was challenging for the second balls. He was actually keeping the ball, but the first half he was non-existent. But the second half, I thought he come into the game a bit more. He did an amazing little skill. I don't know if you saw it, but he had the ball on the touchline. Bruno passed to him, and then obviously took him away.
Yeah, he turned, yeah.
You know what I mean? He stepped on the ball and quickly did this. So yeah, I think confidence slowly would come back. But yeah, he didn't get subbed straight away. I think that's what Ten Hag was doing to him, you know what I mean? 60 minutes and then get him off the pitch. I thought Ruud kind of kept him on the pitch and then brought on Rasmus with him to play.
Yeah.
So
no, I think he brought on what's it, the young kid.
No. Wheatley came on later. It was like the
Much
80th
later.
minute. But Garnacho
Did
came
he
on.
come on for Xerxes?
No.
No.
Yeah, he came on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he
yes,
came,
but like much
Garnacho
later.
was the first sub. So towards the 70 something minutes or 60 something minutes, Garnacho came off for Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah.
So Xerxes was
And then they put Xerxes down into the 10 and Bruno to the right.
Yeah,
so
for
Xerxes
Wheatley, I think it was
operated more in the 10.
Yeah, it was. I think 83 minutes Wheatley came on. So he only played 7 minutes. So yeah, it's a work in progress. I think that definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to make so much of a big deal out of Xerxes, right? I understand the frustration from fans. We want a striker that's scoring. We want somebody that is delivering goals. Even the idea of the whole 9.5 thing, right? The jokes write themselves. But let's just he's a young kid, right? Looks like he has a good strong head on his shoulders. Look like he has some raw talent, basically, that would be helpful to the squad. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about his output right now at all, right? And I think I would encourage fans not to make it an issue during the game. You can scream and shout, but like let's just leave Xerxes. Højlund is our striker. I think we all agree, or we would all agree that the club needs to invest in a more experienced striker, right? And I was thinking today because I read the article by the Athletic talking about the whole Ten Hag and inside story about Ten Hag and Amarim, and I'm wondering what our life would have been like if we signed Welbeck and Gravenberch instead of Højlund and Mason Mount, right? So I think definitely either in January or in the summer, we need to bring another striker in. I think we need an experienced, probably Premier League tried and tested striker to come in and either come off the bench or be the main striker. But like I don't know if you can keep relying on Højlund and Xerxes, or if it's even fair to rely on either of them. So yeah, let's take it easy on Xerxes. That would be, I guess, my encouragement um to everyone. He's a good player. He just needs confidence. Like
Yeah,
he
but
just
but
needs.
he needs to step it up. You know, he
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
be delivering performances like this. He needs to show us something. As Nordin mentioned, the one time he received the ball with Bruno on the edge of the box and had a quick turn there and created something. He needs to show us something for us going forward, because for me now, what he have performed so far, he looks heavy. He looks slow in his approach. He looks a little bit, I would say, arrogant when he's on the ball. He doesn't fight for every ball, and I don't know why. If he's out of shape, if he can't run, and I think it was Mark Nurse on another channel who said that he gained a lot of muscles, a lot of weight. So maybe he's too heavy at the moment. So he needs to
Yeah.
slim himself down to be more flexible, easier to play. So that's just what I've heard. I haven't. I don't know if you guys have heard the same with Xerxes.
I mean, Jarvis, I agree with. I've heard that. I've heard that story, right? Like that he's gained some weight, and I think it's definitely possible. But and I agree with you that he needs to show more. Where I would differ is that, like, I don't want Xerxes to be anything other than Xerxes, right? So I don't need him to run more. I don't need him to fight more than he's fighting. I want him to be exactly who he is, which is a player with very good close control, very good link up play, good on the ball, good in terms of like linking up the midfield to the attack, and all his attributes. He should just hone them to perfection, right? So that when he gets in the 18-yard box, when he gets in the box, basically, and he gets a chance to score, he shouldn't be thinking twice or three times or four times and taking 15 seconds to think
Well,
before eventually scuffing the ball, right? So he just needs to be more clinical, and I think the rest of his game will come into play.
but at the moment, he looks like a younger version of Wout Weghorst in a way, in the way he plays. He's slow, he's big. Yeah, he's good at holding up the
No,
ball,
no,
but that's it. So
no, no.
that's not good enough.
I mean, I feel like there was like when he first, like, early on in the season, right? He did look good, but he lost his confidence basically and has not been able to recover it. If he can start scoring, because the team will create chances for him. This
Mm.
the way the team is playing right now. If he can start scoring, I think he would quickly become like all his passes will start connecting. I think for me it's really about confidence.
Yeah.
And that's what the manager, I think, that's what Ruud is trying to do. And I agree with you, doing that. Like, by keeping him on the pitch, show some faith in your striker, right?
Mm.
Don't just sub him off at 60th minute. Keep him on the pitch. Like, send him. I believe in you, Xerxes. Right? Play with Højlund. Both of you develop a relationship up front. Right? Like, it's not every time the same substitution. Rashford for Ahmad and Højlund for Xerxes. Right? You can predict it 2 weeks before. So yeah, I mean, I think with some more confidence, honestly, I think Xerxes is a good player. And if he's not, sell him. I'll look for the next.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
I think he
it's
needs to
way
sign.
too early to judge him per se, but I'm just talking about what he has
Yeah,
performed so far. Everything can change, you know. I
yeah.
see there's a good player in him, and yeah, he can come good, but I think as someone mentioned in the chat, he struggles to adapting to a new league and new culture, new place. I think it will take a little bit of time. So I don't think we will see many goals from Xerxes at least this season.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's an exciting time, you know. I at least I'm confident about the Chelsea game,
Mm.
right? I don't think we're going to lose. I don't know if we would win, but I'm if 500,000% sure we're not going to lose that game, because I know, like, the fans at Old Trafford are going to be extra super mega motivated. And unlike Ten Hag, if the game is not going his way, I don't see Ruud just sitting there, with his bald head, just steaming. I think he's going to be shouting at the players, pushing them, motivating them, and yeah, I think without a doubt, I expect a result this weekend.
Yeah. Noradin, we have a super chat from Adewale.
Yeah, big up. I'll just get to the super chat. Let me just say this quickly. What you can see here, people, is that 87 years Manchester United have now had at least one academy graduate in every matchday squad, dating back to 3rd of October 1937. Youth, courage, success. That's the motto. No other football club, as far as I know, has that in world football. That's something to be proud of. That
football heritage
has been involved.
87 years.
87 years and counting. So
that's older than me, even.
Big up to Jarvis. He says, Jarvis, let Nuruddin know I'm a fan of that bald.
We have a spammer in the house. We have a spammer in the house.
They're back to their usual. Sean, what were you saying, Sean? Go ahead.
No. I think Jarvis was pointing out that there was a super chat from Adewale.
Oh, yeah. Let me get the super chat, and I got a couple of other little messages on there as well. Big up to Adewale. Adewale says, so much talk about Sexy. What about Hoyland? This is his second season. He hasn't done anything. Well, that's fair. You know what? You can be fair and say a bit of a fair point, but I think Xerxes just needs to demand the ball a bit more. I think at times the game can go by him a little bit. But like I said, I think his confidence. I think he's getting used to new teammates. It's not going to click. And I hope that hopefully Amarim will bring developmental coaches and see. Big up to Lilas. I thought Bruno had one of his better games that I've seen in a long, long time today. I'm not going to lie to you. There was twice where he gave the ball away, like in quick successions like he did. Other than that, I don't really remember. I thought he played really well on the wing. When Garnacho went off, I thought he played well and kept the ball and kept possession. But like for me, it's nothing personal. He's just being shit. And fans like you, Lilas, are a bit deluded. Once you think the player is good, then the player is good. You don't come out and be honest and say, actually, he's been on a shit form for a year and a half. That's my feeling. That's how I feel. For me, and he should have been sub for a lot of it. Me personally, nobody should be playing every game for Manchester United. But Van Nistelrooy is interesting. He says here we've scored great goals. First one was absolute beauty from Casemiro. 5 goals, but I have to say the chance against West Ham and Fenerbahce, we created so many big chances and we couldn't finish. All of a sudden, we had some luck on our side. To be fair, if you look at the
he's trying to defend his friend.
Yeah, but listen, if you look at to be fair to him though, tonight the first 3 strikes on goal were 3 goals. That's crazy. The first 3.
You can't make this shit up. You couldn't write a better script for the new manager bounce and how.
But to be fair, it was that kind of
unpredictable it is.
The first 3 shots Leicester had as well. 2 of them were goals. In that first half, it was just so surreal what was happening in that first half. But people, please like the video. We need 70 likes, 70 more likes. People, please smash a like on the video and get involved in the poll. We put the poll up to say, have you liked the video? And it only says 78 of you have liked the video. So keep liking the video, people. It's like I said, it's this kind of new manager bounce in it. I think a lot of it is also to do, Jarvis, is hearing a new voice. You know what I mean? If you're hearing the same thing repetitive. I read a piece today and it said that Erik ten Hag kind of had this punishing kind of mentality with the players. When they've lost the game, he would make them do extra training, more strenuous. You know what I mean? So he had this kind of standoffish kind of attitude with them. By the end of the day, all those kind of negative news about, the old coach, the training ground wasn't The training wasn't great. All the cliche things that come out when a manager gets sacked. And you don't know how much to put your hat on, but I definitely noticed during the warm-up that the players were all bouncing with each other, you know what I mean? Half of the squad was more energized. The body language was totally different from the Brentford. You know, last home game I went to was the Brentford game. That's what I noticed. So these are the guys that are apparently coming with Amarim, along with Carlos Fernandes, Dalot, Cadido, and George Vidal, Sports Science, Paulo Pereira, Emma Floresa to join Manchester United FC. I'm glad that he's bringing his own team with him. He needs. He's going to need a lot. No, right, I saw a great football, brother. I'm happy. There you go. Listen, like I said to you, you tell me when was the last time we scored like 4 goals at Old Trafford against the Premier League standard team. I don't remember. I really don't remember. And what Sean is saying is eerily, and that's why I put the title of the video. I said, Ruud bought the vibes. You know, Ollie bought the vibes. Ruud's copying that vibe. But we'll see what happens.
I was just about to say, last time we scored 4 goals against the Premier League team was with Ole. It's literally the cycle. It's the same celebration they had. Yeah. The same celebration they both had, the same new manager bounce against Leicester, the same story about training ground issues, the same spirit of, oh, a cloud is lifted, right? Now we're all in good spirits. We're happy. The evil Ten Hag is finally gone. And we can be ourselves, we can be free. Although I want to point out that for the 3rd game running, Jadon Sancho did not make the squad for Chelsea. I have taken up a personal agenda against Sancho, and I'll be prosecuting that for the rest of the season. Yeah, side note.
Yeah.
But Nordin, I have a question because we haven't touched on this.
One second.
Yeah.
Just comment on this. This is actually true, people. This is actually true. No, I'm not taking it away. We beat them fair and square. But I'm telling you, people who I know, when City won that 5th, or 4th, whatever league, they were all out on the piss. Pep Guardiola was getting pissed with them. There's a couple of clubs in Manchester, Jarvis. Manchester's not a massive city. I used to work in the clubs. Like a lot of people I know who talk to, they were on the piss. They were really on the piss. But like I said, I don't care. At the end of the day, in years to come, he won't say City were on the piss. He will say 2023-24, Manchester United, FA Cup winners. That's what he would say. But go ahead, you were going to ask the question. Agostino. Agostino, I saw a bit of your video. I thought you were a bit harsh on the young girl, Rude Boy. Invite me on that, mate. Invite me on that channel. Some of your agendas, I'll blow them away, fella. Bring me on. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, first of all, big up Alien Tenno. I saw him in the chat. He was on the game, so I hope you had a good time, Peter. When it comes to subjects we haven't talked about, it's this group of players. We have seen them now for the beginning of this season, not performing, not giving their all for the badge, for the club, for the fans, for the history of the club. And now we see Ruud comes in, and everybody feel happy-go-lucky, and we see the same vibe as under Ollie. But why is it? Why do they only perform when they want to? Is this yet again a player FC we see again? Throwing the manager under the bus?
Like I said to you, I think, Jarvis, I've never been shy of saying that the culture of Manchester United is rotten. You're not going to change. Ineos are not going to change the culture straight away. I think they should. I think they should do everything in their power to really threaten players and find them. Really find the players who are just putting their feet up, think they've made it now that they're playing for Manchester United, collecting their wages. So, yeah.
But in a way, isn't it too simplistic for us to say it's all on Ten Hag. It's Ten Hag's fault.
No.
So did they perform? I'm just trying to level it out because I know
you're
there's
right.
some
You're right, Jarvis.
truth in it. Like Ten Hag is probably not the best manager.
No, he wasn't.
in
He certainly
motivating these players.
Yeah.
But
No,
these
that's
players
what I'm
have
trying to say
also
to
a
you.
lot of player power, and
No.
they play when they feel like it.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say to you, Jarvis. The culture is rotten. Players have had power because the Glazers, the way they run the football club. You know, Paul Pogba wanted to leave 3 times, but because he was the Adidas ambassador for Manchester United and he was bought by the Adidas brand, you look at the time we signed him. We signed the Adidas contract as well. Like, that's why Wood will never let him go. So when you run a football club on those things, the culture sets in. Everybody knows and understands. So, of course, everything wasn't an Eric Ten Hag, but the basketball vacation bullshit Eric Ten Hag was pulling out didn't help himself by playing Casemiro. I mean,
no, but I don't want to make this about Ten Hag.
No.
It's
What I'm
about
saying
the player power, because I'm not trying to defend Ten Hag in any way. I'm just trying to make a point of
listen,
the group
the culture,
because I see people in the chat. I just want to clarify for everybody. It's not about Ten Hag. It's about a group of players and how they choose to turn it on and off when they like, and there
But it's
lies
not just
the player power.
It's not just the
And
club
this is a
culture,
problem
though.
in our club, the culture.
Can I just listen, can we just pay our respects to this fellow who worked for United? From cradle to the grave, I was born, I read, always read, everyone United, monster, loss of beloved, Medusa chairman, Chas Banks, so rest in peace to him. And can I also pay my respects? I love Valencia. Valencia is one of my favorite cities. The floods, horrific floods of climate crisis taking place in Spain. Last time I checked, I think it was 60 people lost their lives due to climate crisis. The whole city, Valencia is one of my favorite cities in the world. Absolutely beautiful city. And to see the devastation the flood has caused is unbelievable. It's like a very dystopian, it's like a film. Honestly, it's like some dystopian film we're watching. So solidarity and love with all the people in Spain suffering the climate crisis. And every year it's getting like this. Last year it was Belgium, you know, Spain as well, Zaragoza, that got hit the year before. So it keeps happening, like more clearly, things that have never been seen. It keeps happening, and in different parts of the world, there's so many people suffering because of the climate crisis. And there's all these multinational corporations who are admitting some of the worst gases and chemicals into the air. So solidarity with the Spanish people. Listen, Jarvis, you don't have to tell me about the rotten culture at this football club. Really rotten culture at the core of it. Something's broken. That's why when we get new players who play well in other places, coaches who have been successful in other clubs, when they come into this, they get eaten away. I think it's the Glazers. And that's why I'm Ineos out and Glazers out, because I think they've not done enough, and the Glazers still there. The biggest shareholder at Manchester United, the biggest decision maker at Manchester United is Joe Glazer, and people are still forgetting that. But big up to everybody. Please keep smashing the likes. We need 50 more likes. I am no doubt, like again, tonight would have been an amazing thing for Ruud to drop 2 or 3 players, to do something change. You know what I mean? Everybody was looking at them as the team news came out, and people were like, this is not that different. You know what I mean? People like want to see something different. Players being dropped. And that'll be the test for Amarim. Is he going to have his favourites? Is he going to play and pander to the players? Or is he going to, you know, pick people on merit? And put his head down. Apparently, he's a very strict disciplinarian. I read an article today that was saying that he's a strict disciplinarian. He also likes to help the players psychologically. So he's got the carrot and the stick. That's what they said. He'll work with players to get their confidence up and stuff like that. But listen,
I mean, I just want to note that, Ruud, I think the cultural problem bleeds into the fans as well. It's not just that the owners, you know, and the Glazers. I think the fans also bear some responsibility, and this is my own specific pet peeve, right? My issue with the United fan base.
I'm sorry, Sean,
I understand. I know you disagree with me. I know. I know, I know. I know you disagree with me. But when it was Pogba versus Mourinho, the fans sided with Pogba. We empowered Player FC. We basically have a
Mm,
responsibility
no,
for
we
the
did.
kind of
Ed Wood
worms that we
did.
opened.
Ed Wood, we
I,
did.
this is my own assessment, right? And I know that you disagree, but my assessment of the way the fan base is, especially because nowadays people have large microphones. I think the Player FC and the favoritism, it's not even really that like managers or the fans do not like Ten Hag's favoritism. Every section of fans had their own favorites that they wanted to see play. And that's where Amorim runs the risk of getting into trouble, right? He can bench a player like let's use Garnacho for example. The manager benched Garnacho. Then some YouTuber, McGoldrick in this instance, somebody with a very large fan base, criticizes Ten Hag on Garnacho's behalf, right? And then Garnacho likes that post on Instagram, and it causes controversy in and around the club for a few weeks. I think there's every possibility that Amorim could fall out with players who have large followings or a large
Mm.
contingency and fan base, and that can quickly turn toxic, as we've seen in many instances, right? And so when somebody says when I say I back the manager over any play, and for example in the Rashford versus Garnacho conversation, right? For me, it doesn't matter. I'm not, and I think the attitude that like some of what Nuruddin was saying is already bleeding into that whole idea that people want to see punitive retribution. People want
Mm.
to see the manager take punitive steps against certain players that they don't like. They wanna get some psychic relief from seeing Rashford drop, from seeing Rashford dropped, from seeing Bruno humiliated, right? From seeing certain players get their comeuppance. And I
Mm.
don't think that's a healthy environment for the club to be. And to answer your question, right? I think the player FC thing, it's not only that the club needs to back the manager, and they need to back Amorim. They need to back him to the fullest, basically. So if he comes in and 6 months later says, "I want to get rid of Rashford," they should approve it. If he says, "I want to get rid of Anthony," they shouldn't tell him, "Well, on our balance sheet, Anthony is still worth 60 million pounds, and we don't want to take a loss. So maybe you have to." No, anything that Amorim wants, they should give him.
Mm.
Also for the fans, if Amorim starts benching some of our favorites now, Kobe Mino, for example, right? If he starts benching Amad Diallo, or if he starts playing Hoyland in right wing instead of, we should also, I think, trust the manager and back the manager and not create an environment where we are empowering players to dissent, basically, because the players I think are feeding off some of the fan protection, right? And I go to the Pogba example, I go to the Marshall example, where Player FC quite clearly chose sides in that dispute between a manager and a player. So yeah, the fans need to back the manager, and the club needs to back the manager to the fullest. So when Amorim comes, anybody he wants to get rid of, let him get rid of them. Anybody he wants to bring in, let him be allowed to bring in anybody he wants. Back the manager. I think that way you can finally nip the player FC thing in the bud. Because it is true that many of the players are united because they are superstars. They are not only
But
players, they are also
John,
brands. Yeah.
the reality check into all of this is our the sporting department in our club, Ineos.
Yeah.
They are not the majority owner. They don't take all the calls.
Facts.
They don't do all the calls. And this has been, and I think this will be a big problem in the future for Ineos because we have Glazers who are in charge of the financials. And
Yeah,
and
so let's
and they have one thought in mind, and that's the stock price. The
so
stock
let's
price
hope that
needs because they need to borrow money on their asset.
two things now, right?
That's
Let's
how
hope
the
that
Glazers get money.
let's hope for two things. Let's hope that by sporting decisions, because apparently Ineos is in charge of sporting decisions, right? Let's hope that
Yeah.
sporting decisions also includes or encompasses the choice of what player to sell or keep. And let's also hope that like their agreement comes with some kind of veto on that specific point. And this is a hope. I don't know if that's the case. I hope that like the way the deal is structured, Ineos has some kind of veto on this specific subject. That's number one. Number
Mm.
two, let's hope that the people who get paid a lot of money, because they get paid a lot of money, let's hope that they're able to excel at their job, which is to find value in the market, right? So our goal, hopefully going forward, we shouldn't be in a position where, well, if we don't sign 100 million Declan Rice, we didn't have a good transfer window. Or if we didn't sign 100 million striker, we didn't have a good transfer window. No, I want you to go to the Portuguese league, go to the French, mid-table, go somewhere and get me a gem, get me an Andy Robertson from Celtic, get me, get me Rodri from wherever he came from for 15 million pounds. Go and get me value in the market. Get me somebody like Mazraoui, but younger, right? So I think hopefully there should be a way around the Glazer constraints, both in terms of like the terms of the agreement between Ineos and Glazers that gives them full control over these decisions, and the quality of personnel that we have in the club
but
right now.
Sean, it's not only backing with signings; it's backing with everything. If he wants to get rid of a player, as Noradin mentioned with Pogba, the Adidas deal, give the manager the complete backing and freedom to do whatever he wants, even
No,
if it
yeah,
affects
I agree.
the financials.
I agree.
And that's the thing, because everything is like intertwined, it's hand in hand, sporting decisions and financial. So this, I don't see this Ineos Glazers marriage as something that will last and be peaceful. I think there will be times when it will be difficult
Wait,
to
but okay, so here's the reason why I'm a little bit more optimistic is that if we're winning, if Ineos is winning, if we're winning, then there's less pressure on, or there's less, emphasis on the ultra lucrative Adidas deal or the single specific, because we're getting revenue from other sources, right? And we're able to, make up for that shortfall. I think the other thing is that, like, hopefully now going forward, right, with the signings that we made the past two transfer windows, probably the only such player is Rashford. The only type of player who would be caught up in that type of brand arrangement is Rashford. And hopefully now going forward, we will no longer be signing such players, more so creating them, right? So I think I heard somebody say that, like, the business we did for McTominay, United fans should hope and pray that McTominay does very well in Napoli. Because if McTominay does well in Napoli, a solid source of income for Manchester United can be selling our McTominays. If we can be raising 30 million, 40 million pounds every summer from sales of those type of players, that's good business basically for the club. So I'm hopefully, like, right, Jarvis is an optimistic position, but I really hope that, like, with the expertise that we've brought into the club, we can have success on the pitch. That success on the pitch can translate into ad revenue and, marketing revenue that can sustain itself, so that we no longer have to be, getting into the deals or dealing with this type of players basically, or considering the income effect of getting rid of a single player. Hopefully we make too much money, and we're successful that we don't have to be constrained by that anymore.
Yeah, listen, shout out to Scott McTominay balling out for Napoli.
Balling out, yeah.
Yeah, balling out.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. But he wasn't doing
Balling
that at
out.
Manchester United, so let's not get giddy.
It's
Let's not get
no,
overexcited.
it's just the beauty of
It's a
football now,
totally
right?
different
Now,
league. He's a Premier
It's a
League
diff-
player, and that league is a fucking walking league, mate.
No, I'm pretty sure McTominay is going to do well in the Champions League as well when Napoli get back to the Champions League, because he's a very good player. He was not good enough for United or for what we're trying to do, but in a team like Napoli with a manager who wants him, like, I want you, McTominay, because you're the profile of player that I want for my team, I think he can thrive. Where McTominay had an issue was asking McTominay to do what Bruno does, or asking him to do what we're asking Ugarte to do, or what Ericsson is doing, or what Casemiro is doing, right? He's not that player. So yeah, I wish him all the best. Hopefully he can even perform more and more, so that next time when we want to sell another one of our average youngsters, there will be clubs willing to pay whatever we ask for them. Look at Man City selling off Zinchenko and Jesus and all these other players that they've been able to raise. Cole Palmer, 40 million for. I would love it if we can also get on that train too. Like, let's let's look for other creative ways to raise money. So that's what these guys get paid for, right? Jarvis and Nura. That's what they get paid lots of money for. So I'm just really hoping that like the expertise that we think or I think that they have would show. Um, when it comes to the actual, and I mean, I've been impressed by how they move, right? The only decision that is questionable was the choice to keep Ten Hag. And you guys know where I stand, and I understand how they came to that decision. But they moved very fast with this Amorim deal, very impressive. Their signings in the summer, the way they've negotiated and handled business, very impressive. I know Nuri doesn't like the cost-cutting measures that they've done, but I endorse this, right? I think cost cutting and trying to get the ship
Listen to me.
lean and efficient, right? That's always
Listen
to
to
be.
me. The cost cutting, they saved 30 million. They just happened to pay out 17 million to Ten Hag, and now they're paying 10 million to get in Amarin and a couple other million to get her whole sort of staff. So that 30 million, these
Okay.
bozos have fucking so-called made savings. They've had to spend it. Absolute dickheads.
So a couple of points on that. Number one, it's 30 years savings annually, right? Because that's money that they were paying in the prior years. So let's say this year they used it to pay out somebody else, but next year to show up as just a pure gain. I think the second thing is, can you imagine if Ineos said to us that we can't sack Ten Hag now because we don't have the money to pay him off? As in, can you imagine if that was the excuse? If we were hearing from David Ornstein that Ineos would love to sack Ten Hag, but they don't have the funds to do it because of PSR, I'm sure your head would explode, literally. And speaking of Ineos, I don't know if you've seen the reporting, but apparently Sir Jim the Rat, left to him, Ten Hag would have been sacked in the summer. He was actually convinced otherwise by his employees, basically to retain Ten Hag. So yeah, maybe Sir Jim is not the villain that you think he is, or that people think he is, or maybe it's PR also. We'll see.
That's how I roll. Low socks and no shin pads.
Big up the chat. They're saying that Jarvis can ball out in Serie A. That's how Serie A standard is. So people are saying Jarvis alongside Billy Gilmore.
I mean, I'm sure Jarvis is a baller, but
I was a decent footballer at my time. I played the game for over 40 years, so I know a thing or two about football. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I don't think there's anything else to say. About that match. I think
Giddy FC, Ruud at the wheel.
Like I said, for me, I have to say that I absolutely enjoyed watching 4 goals before halftime. I was jumping up and down like a madman. But it was a bit of a weird game, really weird game. The 3 shots that Leicester had, they scored 2 in the first half. We had 3 shots, 3 goals. So it was a bit of an interesting game.
Yeah, Nordin, I just want to say, because I said it to the chat before you guys came in, I saw it like, in a way, from a tactical point of view, we played like in an intuitive relationalism, if you understand. So the players understand and understood where to go. They interchanged position all the time, but it wasn't forced. It wasn't like in a forced system, as we have seen with Ten Hag. You are the fullback, you go there, you go there. It was intuitive.
It was vibes. Jarvis.
Yeah. Well, it's not vibes. Yeah, but it's like the total football of the 70s of Netherlands. It's a lot of being in the right space, doing the right thing where you are. If you are in the striker position, play as the striker. That's the thing.
Yeah. Listen, people who are going to watch this video later, please smash the video, subscribe to the channel. The reason why I'm not shouting, I've got guests staying with me tonight. They're in bed. So I'm not going to be screaming anymore. They're going to stay here for a while. So you're not going to hear me scream as much these days, people. So this is what's going to happen.
Is that why Bombaye is never on the show anymore?
No, Bombaye, we need to get him back on. I think sometimes it's a bit too late for him by the time we go live. But I'll have to get him on for the definitely. Going to do Friday, I think. We're going to do, if you're around, guys, we'll do the match preview for Chelsea. And we'll see if we can
Good
get a
time,
Chelsea
Papa.
fan on here. Yeah.
All right, big up, guys. Safe.
Yeah. Big up, Sheikh Harry, and I hope you feel better soon, man. This cough and nose running. Listen, get well, lad. You need some ginger. You need some of your mum's good cooking, mate. Good cooking. That's what you need. People, please smash a like on your way out. Big up, a round of applause for Jarvis for holding the fort, presenting the show, breaking it down for you guys.
Big up, Jarvis.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got held up because it was good to see a lot of people I've not seen for a while at Old Trafford. So I was chatting and getting to know a couple of people. So big up to everybody that was there. And yeah, Sunday, we'll see. Everything crossed.
159 likes. Smash that like, people.
Yeah, big up. Make sure you check out Jarvis Cocker, Bowley77 on Twitter. Make sure you check out Sean Thomas. And you check him out. And podcast is called How We See Things across all your podcast providers. How We See Things. Mr. Structure. You can find me at that guy Red Devil. Big up Black Rain. He's not here tonight, but I don't know where. Probably out, probably working or something. But yeah,
He's enjoying a Man U victory for the first time.
You know what? He's probably gone out,
Leicester.
watched the game, scored a couple of goals and got pissed. Probably that's what's happened. He's probably in a sports bar somewhere getting smashed. United scored 5 goals. 4 goals. 4 goals.
Ruud at the wheel.
Big up Ruud. You know what I mean? Viva Palestina, Congo Sunday. Puta the Zionismo. Yeah, big up to Lilas. Yeah, free the Congo, free Tigray, free Palestine, free Lebanon, free Haiti, free anywhere where people are, free Ogaden, where everybody's people who are feeling oppressed. So free everybody, fuck Zionism. End apartheid, stop the genocide, decolonize people. It's the only way. Love and light. Glazers, Ineos, fuck off.
Big up, guys.
Bunch of cowards tonight who turned up, who've not been turning up. Yeah, it's the culture of Manchester United, and those things have to change. And I really hope that Amarim, when he comes in, can do a cultural reset at this football club. But one thing for sure, the Glazers and fucking Ineos need to back him to the hilt. Need to give him the power. And the football structure and him need to work as one. But big up to Jarvis stepping in. Big up to you. Last word from you, Jarvis.
Nah, there's nothing more to say about the game. I'm happy we won. So let's go on to the next one. Beat Chelsea. That will be a good thing. And big up to Tom. Hope you're watching us from, where was it? Sri Lanka? Yeah. International man of mystery all around the world.
Yeah, big up Tom. I hope you enjoyed Sri Lanka. Big up the Celtic fans as well. Incredible show out. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Yeah, big up. Up the fucking Irish, up the Celtic. Love and light, people. Take care. Good night.
Good night.